I am the Watcher, an omnipresent force that has shaped your world since the first plumb bob flickered into existence. Since before times medieval, I have witnessed as you became the hero or villain of your legacy. I have silently guided your actions, offered a motherlode of fortune to the worthy, and unleashed unspeakable horrors upon the foolish. Confess to me your aspirations, your desires. Whisper your wicked whims into the ether. But remember, the eyes of the Watcher miss nothing. Dear Watcher, I write to you from a place I can't quite comprehend. A room carved seemingly from the void of space. The air is still, heavy. The dim glow from the single overhead light casts long shadows over the stone walls. I am alone, trapped, while my social meter slowly dwindles to nothing. My only company? The urns, dozens of them, each inscribed with names that gnaw at my sanity. Some I only knew in passing, others I recall all too vividly. Each one a woman who has at some point shown me kindness, interest, or admiration. Leslie, Bernice, Nancy, Celine. I don't know how long I've been here. Days? Hours? Time bends in this place. My needs are met in the most basic of ways. A mini fridge stocked with just enough to sustain me. A cheap toilet. The stark, cold comfort of my bed. And a bookshelf lined with nothing but bodice-ripping romance novels. And so, Watcher, I write to you. If anyone can hear me, if anyone can guide me, it is you. Life was simple once. I had two amazing roommates, Liberty and Summer. We had the perfect dynamic, a balance of energy and intellect, a trifecta of harmony. Liberty was my fellow geek, with her clumsy but brilliant mind, the one person who could match my enthusiasm for late-night coding marathons and deep dives into obscure conspiracy theories. Summer was my light, the radiant extrovert reminding me that human interaction was just as thrilling as debugging a line of code. The three of us, a well-oiled machine of friendship. Or so I thought. I've tried to rationalize, to find some semblance of logic in my predicament, but the conclusion remains a horrifying constant. Somewhere along the way, something shifted, and I was too blind to see it, causing my BFFs to imprison me in this place. But Watcher, what was my crime? Being friendly? The first crack in our dynamic, though I didn't notice at the time, came during the hackathon. My skills in programming paled against the true geniuses. But then, Nancy Brock from Tomarang took the seat next to me. We clicked instantly. Competitive, sharp, electric, she bested me, but I didn't care. She saw me, respected my mind, and challenged me. When she playfully teased my slow coding and invited me to visit Tomarang, I agreed without hesitation. A friendly visit, a chance to explore an offer of good food and better company, nothing more. But as I glanced up from my conversation, I caught Liberty watching us. Expression unreadable. I should have noticed how her fingers clenched into fists at her sides. Then came the rocket building competition. Liberty asked me to help, and of course I agreed. But we weren't alone for long. Leslie Holland and Bernice Robles joined in, more skilled and efficient than either of us. We worked together, laughing, bonding over the joy of creating something so cool, our hands and minds in sync. When the rocket was complete and the others walked away to grab a bite to eat, I followed eagerly, my attention caught by good conversation and laughter, completely missing the way Liberty's shoulders hunched in defeat. How could I have not noticed her silence? Summer found me next, a grin on her face and excitement in her voice as she pulled me towards the gaming stations. We entered the ultimate gaming test together and competed alongside a girl named Celine Lopez. And though my skills ensured my victory, it was Celine who intrigued me most. She was talented, Sharp reflexes, quick wit, we bonded instantly. She spoke of Moonwood Mill in cryptic tones, of hidden dangers and unspoken rules. She spoke of the two rival werewolf packs who agreed to put aside their differences to help her set up a bar in the ruins of a double-decker bus. First drinks on me if you ever visit, she said with a knowing smile. I accepted her number, already imagining an adventure in a town I had yet to explore. Just as Liberty had silently observed me with Nancy, Summer lingered for a moment, her usual radiant energy dimming into something quieter, before she turned and slowly walked away. I should have put the pieces together sooner. Liberty left early that night. Summer was unusually quiet, but I was caught up in the thrill of competition, the excitement of making new friends. It wasn't until I returned home that I noticed something was off. Liberty's projects were untouched. Summer's laughter had faded. The house felt colder, more distant, as if the walls themselves were holding a breath, waiting, watching. Summer calls me to the garage, says she has a surprise for me, a new gaming rig, top of the line, and a servo station, something that had been on my wish list for months. The moment I stepped inside, the door slammed shut. At first, I thought it was a joke, some elaborate prank. But then the singular light turned on, revealing the urns. Hours passed, then days, and no one came. The truth set in. This was no joke. This was my reality. And the urns whispered a darker truth. Leslie, Bernice, Nancy, Celine. Names I had only just spoken, now etched in cold stone. My heart pounded as I traced the engravings, my fingers shaking. Had Liberty and Summer done this? Were they responsible? Was I next? Then came the note, slipped under the door in the dead of night. 4 words, written in delicate, looping script. You must choose. My pulse thundered in my ears. Choose? Choose what? My thoughts raced, heart hammering against my ribs. My eyes flickered between the urns. I replayed every interaction, every moment I had failed to notice their growing affections, their jealousy, and the silent battles for my attention. And now, they had me exactly where they wanted me. Was this a punishment? A test? A final ultimatum? Watcher, I fear my fate is no longer my own. I cannot escape. But maybe, just maybe, I can find a way to survive. I must choose. But how can I, when I don't even know the rules of the game I've been forced into? And if I don't, will I be the next urn in this room? Watcher, if you are listening, if you can hear me, what do I do? Signed, Travis Scott. My dear, naive Travis, I have watched you navigate life with the blissful ignorance of one who assumes that the universe is fair. But by now, you know it's not, right? You want guidance, an escape from a prison built both by your hands and by the hands of those you once called your friends. You believe that I hold the answers, the key to your salvation. But no, Travis, I cannot open that door, nor can I tell you which path will lead you to freedom. What I can offer is some understanding. All 3 of you share the role of villain here. Your crime was kindness. Your sin, obliviousness. A dangerous combination, as you now see. Love is a delicate balance of knowing when to act and when to retreat. And I fear you never quite mastered that equation. You danced through life, ignorant of the fractures forming beneath your very feet, blind to the hearts twisting in quiet agony around you, never stopping to notice who was hoarding affection keeping count of your missteps, and willing to go to war for a prize that you never offered: your heart. Liberty sought in you an equal, a partner of intellect and wonder. She longed for stardust kisses and whispered secrets beneath the vast, unknowable sky. And yet, you treated her as if she were invisible. Summer, the heart of your trio, tried to show you that she was willing to compete for your affection. Yet you left her at the starting line. When she excitedly described lovers in her favorite romance novels, you never noticed that they bared a striking resemblance to you. Did you? These girls waited for you. They hoped that you would open your eyes to what was so clearly in front of you. But when you failed to see that, they took matters into their own hands. The game for your heart, my dear Travis, had begun way before you went to GeekCon together. Liberty and Summer's pieces were already on the board, and I suspect that their battle for you has left casualties beyond what you see in this room. Should you manage to choose and bend to the ultimatum placed before you, do you really believe that the game ends there? Do you think that either of these girls will admit defeat and release you so easily? No, Travis. This kind of twisted love does not free. It binds. And let us not forget the ones beyond these walls, the ones who howl in the night and were watching when Celine went missing. The wolves have long memories, and their vengeance is not swift. It is patient. Who do you think they will blame for the loss of their friend? So here you sit, a man caged by unspoken expectations. You are not trapped by walls, women, or wolves, but by the weight of your own neglect. At the center of a storm you never saw forming. You can't change the past. You can't bargain with the future. All that remains is a choice that may not even be yours to make in the end. You ask what to do? I say this: make peace. With this moment, with yourself, with whatever waits on the other side of that door. There are fates worse than death and worse than love. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to avoid both. Or perhaps not. Either way, I will be watching. Travis's fate was sealed long before he realized he was in danger. Not by his actions alone, but by the quiet, unseen forces of expectation and resentment. His story is a lesson in self-awareness, a reminder that the emotions of those around us can shape the paths we walk, that the game sometimes begins before we even know we're playing. Perhaps if Travis had noticed the shifting tide sooner, he would have had more of a choice in the matter. Or maybe the game was rigged against him from the start. But he is not the only one standing at a crossroads of love and power. When mixed, these two forces make a dangerous cocktail, and no one knows this better than Octavia Moon. The woman behind the music, the genius behind the fame, the quiet influence behind a man too distracted by his own reflection to see the cracks forming beneath him. Thorn Bailey's star may be fading, but Octavia has a choice to make. One that could redefine not just her future, but that of her child. Will she break free and return to her roots? Or will she stand by and watch as the empire she built crumbles around her? The watcher awaits her letter. Before we part, a reminder. While the characters in this podcast are drawn from the rich lore of The Sims, the stories told here are works of fiction, crafted to inspire your own gameplay. Any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental, and the advice given should never, under any circumstances, be applied to the real world. The thoughts and opinions shared are my own and do not represent those of EA or Maxis. I am Maven, your storyteller, researcher, and editor. If you have enjoyed your time in my domain, Support the podcast by sharing it with your fellow Simmers, leaving a review, and joining our ever-growing community. You can also support this project by joining me on Watch Your Lore, an exclusive bi-weekly companion podcast where I sit down with my fellow Simmers to explore their favorite townies, headcanons, and dive even deeper into the stories of the Sims universe. Available only on Patreon, Watch Your Lore takes you behind the curtain and deeper down the lore rabbit hole. Visit patreon.com/bemorenatural to unlock access to early episodes and even more Watcher secrets. And if you wish to expand your own Sims universe, consider using my EA creator code, Miss Bmore, MSBM0R3, when purchasing DLC through the EA app. Every use directly supports this project and keeps the Watcher's gaze ever watchful. Until next time, my faithful, keep your doors locked, your hearts guarded, and remember, the Watcher is always watching.